Throwdown!
This week's Throwdown is 3 rounds for max reps. You're going to do 1 minute at each station, shoulder to overhead, box jump overs, echo bike calories, power cleans, and wall balls with a 1 minute rest between rounds, and your score is your total reps.
Our demo athletes this week are Marcus Flint, Mike McGoldrick, and James Brooks.
All right, TTT! Marcus, full start. Don't get excited. Don't do it. 2, 1, last.
And we're off! We got more guests appearing this week. They're just out of frame.
Yeah, we have a whole crew here.
We got the 3 chosen ones over here.
We put the boys in the middle. We figured
From left to right, we have Mia Gianelli, James Brooks, Mike McGoldrick, and Marcus, I don't know his last name. Flint.
Marcus was on site. I don't know how long it's been. He was
he went back home.
An OG, and then he moved, and then he came back.
To Mexico, and then he came back.
Kind of like the Noldor. See, they went to Oman, and then they came back to Middle Earth.
We didn't say the code
I know,
word
but you
yet.
gave me a reason to make an analogy.
Okay.
All right, that's fair.
So,
well, welcome back.
This workout is a playoff of Fight Gone Bad. If you've been in the CrossFit world for a while, you've probably done that workout. And we also saw a version of this in quarterfinals a few years ago.
Yes. And
step up gate. Step up gate.
I do remember that. I mean, there's a lot of gaming that comes into workouts like this. There's definitely movements that are where you're going to be able to make up more reps by just the cycle speed relative to some of the other ones. So looking at this one, you're going to kind of take I would say, shoulder to overhead, box jump over, and potentially wall ball as your 3 kind of most reps you'll kind of be able to accumulate. The echo bike's going to be probably the most fatiguing when you're getting to it. And sometimes if you're not as good from power clean position, you might just go a little slower, I would think, on those 2.
Yeah, I think between box jump and power clean, that's probably more what kind of athlete you are.
I was going to say, I'm not picking box jumps.
Yeah, for me, I get way more taxed trying to move fast on box jumps, whereas a light power clean, I
feel like I can just move steady and almost like recover, but still get the reps versus like having to go from like the clean position.
So use some self-awareness.
Yeah, the point is figure out which movements you think you can bank more reps. Like for instance, Mike opened up his first 2 rounds. He did 30 shoulder to overhead, which that's a lot of reps to stack up in this. And for someone like Mike, who is so strong overhead, that's not going to tax him as much. Whereas if he tried to kick the echo bike, even pushing hard on it, he'd probably be like,
I mean, even if he sold his soul on the bike and went for it, you would get 40.
40.
That's what I'm saying. If that was all his effort was just to get one set.
Let's speak in the realm of
all right,
elves.
20.
Oh, we're going now?
But I mean, realistically, like no matter how hard you sprint the echo bike, like it's not going to really gain you a lot relative to the shoulder to overhead. Where I think for most people, that's where you can probably make the most amount of reps up. But I think if you're better at wall balls, take your money there, go the full 60 seconds. Or if you're better at box jumps, or it is the deadlift, or hey, maybe it is the echo bike. But just kind of look at it as like, what's the best for you to where you can make up.
It's not the echo bike.
It's not the echo bike.
I don't think it's the echo bike for anyone.
I don't think it's the echo bike for anybody. But
and then so once you pick your movement that you know, all right, these are my jams, do you purposely sandbag the other ones, or?
I don't think it's not necessarily sandbagging, but it's regulating your effort, and it's also where you're going to use more time. So your transitions are built into these minutes, right? You have a minute of work on the echo bike, and you go immediately into the power cleans. So in order to transition, you're going to take away some time from one of those movements. So you have to decide, which movement do I want more time in? I would recommend getting off of the echo bike 5 to 7 seconds faster so that you can be on the cleans and start cycling that weight, because you're going to tick over those reps a lot faster. But you want to decide that in your strategy, which movements you want to actually give the full minute to, and then which ones you want to kind of, what's the saying, like rob someone to pay someone, rob Peter to pay Paul. Did I make that up?
No, I've heard that before.
Well, we're not robbing anybody in here today, but
you're robbing yourself to pay yourself.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely want to take the bank. For me, I would look at it as the shoulder overhead. I'm going to try to go the full 60 seconds. The box jump, I would probably stop 5 to 6 seconds. just to be able to hop onto the bike and get going. From the bike, I'd probably stop 7 to 8 seconds early to be ready to go directly into the cleans after a few seconds of like breathing to kind of like recover a little bit. But then on the wall ball, I'd do the same thing, because knowing you're going to get a minute rest after that, you need to make sure you go kind of all the way through to the top of the minute. I see a lot of times when we've like programmed things like this, people will stop 5 to 6 seconds early, but you take those extra 2 reps over the course of the 3 rounds, and that's the difference on the leaderboard. And if it's an open style, you're talking thousands of placements sometimes for 6 to 12 reps, which could add up over time over this.
Yeah, for sure. You want to make sure that you're working for that full minute when you're going into the rest. I agree with almost everything you said, and I actually used... Almost.
Oh.
Well, Mia in this workout agreed with everything you said, but Mia in hindsight, so I stopped the box jumps like 6 seconds early to get on the bike, and I would not do that in my retest. I would box jump the entire time and get on the bike because at the top of the minute, and that would cost me, based on the pace I was going, which was started at 60 RPM and dropped to like 57, 58, I would lose 1 calorie, but I would gain 2 box jumps, maybe 3, depending on how fast I was moving my feet, which was not that fast. I'm glad my box jumps are out of frame here.
They don't need to watch.
Yeah.
No, but I definitely think this is one that there really is just some workouts that are all about gaming. And this kind of is one of those where even if you took trying to get 12 cals on the Echo bike versus just getting 6, the effort to sometimes do that is more fatiguing, where you might be better off just throttling the pace back a little bit. I mean, you could probably watch when Mike gets on, just seeing how his pace is a little slower.
Well, we're not on the Echo yet, but Mike gave us permission to make fun of his Echo bike. We're not bullies.
I mean, in all honesty, it's not a bad strategy when you're looking at a rep perspective of all of the accumulation of reps, where it doesn't really matter. Even if you went 30, 30, 30 on everything and went 2 on the Echo bike, you're better off doing that than trying to sustain it.
Would that be robbing Peter to pay Paul?
That'd be robbing Billy to pay Joey.
I think another way you could look at that is like using the One Ring to escape the orcs, but drawing the Eye of Sauron upon you.
Something like that.
I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, I just, it just doesn't even make sense of where he's going with this. I think another thing, even on the box jump, just slow the cadence down. If you feel like that's where you need to recover, like take a half a second, but just keep a steady pace. I think a lot of times you can see Mike and James, a couple times they put their hands on the box and just kind of like rested there. Knowing that you're about to have almost, I don't want to say a minute off. Oh, Mike. You're about to have a minute off on the bike just based off of the pace they're kind of holding. To Mia's point earlier, go the full 60 seconds on the box jumps, knowing that you're just going to have to push a little bit harder there.
Yeah, I agree. The bike, it just became definitely not worth cranking. And then when you're just thinking of like, I held 10s on the bike throughout, 10 calories. For me to get 11 or 12, I would have had to crank the bike up much faster, which to me is really difficult to do. And then hold probably like 2 to 3 RPMs higher, which is a lot of work. That's a big difference on the Echo bike, knowing I was going to go into 2 more minutes of work. So I definitely took that Echo bike as, I didn't chill on it, but I didn't push to the point where I couldn't just go and transition and go right into a set of 5 or 6 touch and go cleans, which was my strategy.
Is that what you did the whole time? Held 5 or 6?
Yeah. I would start with 5 or 6 for 2 to 3 sets, and then I would do like 4s. And the cleans I always got, I think I got 20, and then maybe 18 or 19 on the last round. Yes. Are my elbows going far enough forward?
Yeah, I mean, they're going
Do you think
forward.
a workout
it's just so fast. Some of those might be a little close.
A workout like this, is it testing more so, not on a retest, but just doing it your first time, is it testing more so your fitness or your ability to strategize?
I would say a mix.
I think it's probably fitness more
in the
but
third
then
round,
like
but
you can definitely beat people by being smarter, but
this
you have to have the fitness to back it up.
And I mean, I think any Fight Gone Bad style workout, no matter what movements you put in place for that, this workout always gets hard. Like,
yeah, the third round was so hard.
It doesn't take much, and I mean, you're always like, oh, I got a minute off, or I'm going to take kind of a break on the Echo bike, so you almost have like 2 minutes of built-in rest almost in this, but just knowing cycling a barbell versus it being body weight movements definitely changes the whole feeling for the entire workout.
Especially if you're trying to bank reps on the barbell, which if you want a good score, you kind of have to, because those are the reps that tick over the fastest, that and the wall ball. But knowing you have the minute rest after the wall ball, to me, made it a little mentally easier to grind there. It's also a strong movement for me. So
what did you hold on the shoulder overhead?
I did, hold on, I wrote it down. 27, 27, 25.
So between that and the cleans, definitely made up almost 3 times the amount of the bike.
Oh yeah, for sure. And the wall balls were 29, 27, 25. So those 10 cals on the bike, I think in hindsight, I would have let that drop even to like 8 or 9 and tried to get a few more box jumps, or even like squeaked out a couple more on the barbell.
Yeah, I think another thing you can also look at is using a time. I think another option is to maybe go 20 or 30 seconds straight, and then you just go unbroken and you hang on to it. And if you're able to do that, you can still beat somebody that's going for, say, James, for instance, right here, going 10 to 12 seconds, taking a break. But now he's at a 10-second break, where if you could somehow hang on for that 30 seconds, go 30 on, 30 off, that's an option too to kind of game it. I don't think necessarily for me that would be the best route, but for some people that actually is a better strategy if you can hang on to it and keep the rep speed fast enough.
Yeah, for sure. So Lauren did this workout. She's off camera, but she's like 21, 22 weeks pregnant. She's still doing a ton of CrossFit. She decided to do 30 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, and she went unbroken on the 30 seconds for all the movements. And then she also pushed the bike more, right? Like she held 7s on the bike in 30 seconds, which is a much higher RPM than I was holding to get 10 in a minute. But she stayed pretty sustainable throughout. She got 17s on shoulder to overhead, 15s on box jump, 16s on clean. So she was moving.
She's
for those
moving
30
for that 30
seconds.
seconds.
And she probably will beat a lot of people with that strategy. So you might not need to go 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, but you could go 40 seconds, 20 seconds. That's probably pushing it a little bit for unbroken. So you'd have to be really strict on a short rest there. But that might work better for some athletes, where you get that little breather in between movements.
I think even another option is you go 20 on, 10 off, 20 on. And then that's still allowing you a 10-second transition to each movement, still can give you a little bit of rest. And then kind of I feel like anywhere when you do workouts like this, around the 20 to 30 seconds, if you're hanging on unbroken sets, metabolically it just starts to get hard. So I think if that is your strategy, just make sure you're having somebody time your 10-second rest, because if not, that 10 seconds turns to 12, turns to 15, like very quickly. So if you can have somebody count. Chris was actually yelling a lot in the background of this.
This is round 3, right?
Yes, this is the final.
So Mike said to let you guys know, go ahead and in the comments, take a guess at how many calories he got in this minute. Because he really took that strategy of the Echo.
Oh, man, he's even leaning.
Echo bike isn't where he makes his money, but he leaned into that strategy on this round. So
he's really
drop a number in the comments.
He's selling it here, too. He's making sure everybody knows.
He said that he shouldn't have even sat on the Echo bike during this minute.
Yeah. I feel like that's also another thing. If there is a minimum work requirement for each movement, that is something to take into consideration. I think in quarterfinals we had that. Like you couldn't sit a movement out. You had to continuously be attempting to work, more or less. I don't know how you judge that.
Yeah.
But just knowing that you can't take, hey, I'm not going to do any of the box jumps or any of the Echo bike, and I'm just going to push the barbell and wall balls, I mean, is possible, but still probably not your best strategy.
Yeah, I wonder if you just take that Echo bike minute off. I mean, you're going to have to work on the cleans, like have the strategy that you're going to be pushing really hard on the cleans and on the wall balls and going basically unbroken.
Yeah, like even when you're on it, and even if you're getting 8, it doesn't seem like much, but when you add it up over the course of the end, when you got 24 extra reps that you weren't really working super hard for, from like a guy's perspective, to try to get 8 in the minute.
Yeah. Would you do touch and go or singles here?
I think I would try to touch and go kind of the same way you're doing. I'd probably try to go anywhere from 5 to 6 just a quick breath, then go 5 or 6. To me, I feel more comfortable doing that than going to singles. I feel like in this format with the drop and it kind of bouncing left or right, you just lose a lot of time.
I get so angry at the bouncing bar, even with dead plates. I'm like, it's just not worth it.
For me personally, I would try to really make my money on the shoulder to overhead and do as many as I possibly could, kind of keep a steady box jump pace while trying to honestly recover. On the Echo bike, I know I would try to hold something that I can sustain for my 10-minute pace would be kind of my target of what
I was at my 30-minute pace.
Yeah. I mean, but
you're fitter than I am.
Yeah, in this kind of format, I feel like I could do that. Maybe a little slower, of course, by like the second and third round. But with that being the target, on the cleans, I would say 5 to 6s, and then wall ball, I would try to go the full minute unbroken. But that's honestly probably one of my best movements and where I feel like I can kind of recover. Well, it doesn't make much sense.
Chris, I didn't hear your yell here. For the record, I didn't count
Cheetah
those.
reps.
I didn't count
reps.
those.
Those didn't count.
Me and Lauren yelled.
Did you? Well, you were giving us a countdown before then.
Yeah,
and
but
this
Mike
time,
yelled at me because on the second one, I said 5, 4, and he heard 5 and thought I said time. But on the first time, I also said 5, 4, 3.
He was more fatigued.
I thought I was 1 rep past the time. I think it was 2, so I'll remove 2 reps from my score.
Well, good luck, everybody.
Have fun.
Break early, break often. Let's see it.
Always.
Yeah.
We didn't even get into the Calaquendi.
Hit him with it.
Tell us about it?
I mean, I was just telling Trav about how Galadriel might be so powerful and beautiful just because she comes from all 3 of the bloodlines of the Calaquendi, which are the Elves of Light. Those who saw the Light of the Trees in Valinor, which would be Telperion, the Silver Light, and Laurelin, the Gold Light of the trees.
It's a nice name, Laurelin.
So all 3 houses. So she has Vanyar, she has Noldor, and Teleri, which is kind of unique.
Wow. Thank you. Interesting.
Let's see.
Do you think you're going to actually keep that in?
I mean, we might as well. It's going to be the only part of the show people liked. All right. Peace out.
Good luck.